Dang it, that fish hit my indicator. How to hook 'em up anyway, this week on Catch Guide Outdoors.
Oh geez, that was probably a 24-incher. Wow, that was really frustrating when I lost that 24-inch brown trout when it hit my indicator instead of my dry fly that was only a couple feet away and floating perfectly in the stream. So I resolved to try and figure out a way to where if they do go for the indicator, I can still get a hookup. And I was sitting Snelling hooks, removable stinger hooks, for my inshore fishing, and I realized, why can't that work for an indicator? So here's the theory. If your main tippet, main leader, ends in a loop, and you can do this with a surgeon's knot, then there's no reason why we can't insert a removable loop-to-loop connection on both ends with an indicator and a hook snelled on. So here's how it's going to look. Hopefully you can see this. What I've got is a piece of mono here. I've got my first surgeon's loop tied in that end, loose at the other. Now I'm going to grab the appropriate size hook that I want to use and slide that on. Now tie a quick surgeon's loop at the other end so it doesn't come off as I'm messing with this. Surgeon's loop, for those who do not know, is merely just two overhand knots. Pull it tight, and now you're good to go. So I attach this to my leader. I attach this to the rest of my tippet that's going to lead to the dry fly or the nymph down range. Now it's just a matter of snelling this hook on so it's movable. To do that, I'll grab a piece of braid. I like using braid instead of mono because I feel like it grips better. And it's just a standard snell where you line that up, you make a loop, and now just wrap about 8 times through this loop. If it gets hard to grab the tag end, sometimes it's easier just to move the loop down, and then the tag end can be secured a lot easier. Like, see, I'm having a problem there. Get down there. Once I've got the last wrap around, I'll hold that tag end, and then I'll pull against this tag end at the other end, and that's going to pull my snell together. Move it up to the eye of the hook, pull it tight, and cut off the tag ends. So now I've got a movable hook here, and it's easy to make this work. What you can do with the pinch-ons is pinch 1 or 2 depending on how big and heavy your hook is. I like using these Floatmaster strike indicators, and they're real easy. You just pinch the line and you run it up through the hole. These come with these small pieces of tube. Stick that through the loop and pull it down. And now the neat thing about using these is I can move my snelled hook right up underneath it, so it's going to end up floating looking like this. Now when a fish grabs it, it's likely that they will hook themselves, and if you use circle hooks like this one, the fish will end up basically setting the hook itself, and as it slides down, it'll catch on the knot at the end, and you can play them. If it slips beyond this, not a problem, because it'll just go catch on your fly. Once you make these things, put them in one of these plastic bags to keep them separated, and then they won't tangle. It'll be a couple months before I get back out to the mountains to try this out. If someone does try it, please give us some feedback on whether this solves the problem of fish hitting an indicator rather than the fly. Take care.